Hey guys, we are here in Fort Yuma, in California, by the boundary to the state of Arizona. It is built in 1849 as Fort Calhoun. Then later on, renamed Fort Yuma when it was rebuilt in 1855. Let's go check it out. Fort Yuma was a fort in California, located in Imperial County across the Colorado River from Yuma, Arizona. Pre-Civil War. First established after the end of the Mexican-American War in 1848, the fort was originally located in the bottoms near the Colorado River, less than a mile below the mouth of the Gila River. It was constructed to defend the newly settled community of Yuma, New Mexico Territory, located on the other side of the Colorado River and the nearby Mexican border. In March 1851, the post was moved to a smaller elevation on the Colorado's west bank. This site has been occupied by Camp Calhoun, named after Senator John C. Calhoun. A ferry service maintained by the soldiers also accommodated immigrants. Fort Yuma was established during the Yuma War to protect the southern immigrant trail route to California and to attempt control of the Territorial Quechan or Humans in their homeland, the surrounding 100-mile or 160 kilometers area. Established by Captain Samuel P. Hazelman, 2nd Infantry Regiment, the fort was originally named Camp Independence. In March 1851, when the post was moved to its permanent site, its name was changed to Camp Yuma. A year later, the post was designated Fort Yuma. In June 1851, the Army virtually abandoned the post because of the high cost incurred in maintaining it, and it was completely abandoned on December 6 of the same year, when its commissary was practically empty of provisions. The post, however, was reoccupied by Captain Hazelman on February 29, 1852. It was difficult to supply the post as food supplies and construction materials were shipped by water from San Diego, California, around the Baja Peninsula, and up the Gulf of California to the mouth of the Colorado River. The work of transferring the goods to wagons at that point and hauling them across the Yuma Desert and Yuha Desert to Yuma was rigorous and time-consuming. Life at the post was harsh, and militaries resolved to maintain a garrison very. Only after August 1852 did the temporary Fort Yuma become permanent, and the army resolved to stay for good. In November 1852, a steamboat, Uncle Sam, was launched, and in December began carrying a cargo up the Colorado River from Robinson's Landing. It arrived at Fort Yuma and delivered 32 tons of goods on December 3rd. Steamboats continued to supply the fort and later settlements on the Colorado River until the arrival of the railroad in 1877. Only one military action occurred at the fort when Yuman warriors surrounded it during the Yuma War, temporarily trapping the future General Thomas William Sweeney and a few others. From 1858 to 61, the Butterfield Overland Mail had a stagecoach station near the fort that was subsequently used by other stage lines until the advent of the railroad. Civil War. During the American Civil War, the Union retained control of Fort Yuma when the 1st California Infantry replaced the regular Army soldiers sent to the east in December 1861. The southern half of New Mexico Territory seceded, becoming the Confederate Territory of Arizona until 1862, when the California Column marched from Fort Yuma, expelled the Confederacy, marching as far as western Texas. In 1863, the Union established their control of the region as the Arizona Territory. Fort Yuma served as a supply point for the Union garrisons. There was no battle at the fort since the western United States was far removed from the Civil War. Post-Civil War. Fort Yuma was closely associated with the Yuma Quartermaster Depot on the Arizona side of the river, which provided military supplies and personnel to posts throughout Arizona and New Mexico. The depot operated from 1864 to 1891, though the Army terminated most operations there 8 years earlier. It was used by the Army to store and distribute supplies for all military posts in Arizona, Nevada, Utah, New Mexico, and Texas during the Indian War period. A 6-month supply of clothing, food, ammunition, and other goods was stored at the depot at all times. Supplies were brought from California by ocean vessels across Baja California to the mouth of the Colorado River. The cargoes were transferred to river steamers and brought upstream to Yuma. Supplies were unloaded at the depot and hauled up a track running from the dock to the storehouse. The depot quartered up to 900 mules and crews of teamsters to handle them. The Southern Pacific Railroad reached Yuma in 1877, and there was little need for the depot in Fort Yuma, and they were abandoned on May 16, 1883. The reservation was transferred to the Interior Department and the Quechan Indian tribe on July 22, 1884. It became a boarding school operated by the Catholic Church until the 1900s. Present day. Fort Yuma is now part of the Fort Yuma Indian Reservation. Numerous historic buildings remain from the military period in the Yuma Crossing and associated sites in the Yuma Crossing National Heritage Area. In popular media, a Western movie set in Fort Yuma with the same name was released in 1955. Its basic summary was a disgruntled settler kills an Apache chief at the fort, and the fort's commander knows that the chief's son, Manga, Colorado, will seek revenge and go on a war path. The Apaches plan to attack the fort by wearing uniforms landed from a cavalry officer's supply column. Although the movie was set in the fort, the movie was actually filmed in Kanab, Utah. Overall, Fort Yuma's importance lies in its strategic location, its role in border security, its impact on the Native American relations, its military history, and the economic growth it stimulates in the region. It stands as a testament to the historical events and processes that shaped the American West during the 19th century. So now, let's take a walk among the buildings. Hey guys, now we are here in the Yuma Indian Mission, located a few feet away from Fort Yuma. So let's go check it out, and I'll tell you about its history. Let's go. Now there's St. Thomas Yuma Indian Mission. It was dedicated in 1923 and its design replicates the Mission Puerto de Purisma Concepcion, which once stood on the site. Construction on the mission began on the fall of 1780 by Fathers Juan Antonio Berenice and Francis Tomas Hermenegildo Garces. Poorly defended, the mission was destroyed the following year. During a raid and massacre over the period of July 17 to 19, 1781 by the Yumas, frustrated by their treatment at the hands of the Spanish colonists. The raid left Fathers Garces and Barreneche dead, beaten to death with clubs. Over 100 Spanish settlers killed and 74 more were held as prisoners, until Governor Pedro Fages paid a ransom for their release in 1782. The site became a California historical landmark, and the statue of Father Garces commemorates the site of the ill-fated mission. The mission is also one of the two in the area, the other being the Mission San Pedro y San Pablo de Bicuner, 8 miles away along the river. It's kind of sad of the current state of the fort, but what can we do, you know? That's it for that, and I hope you guys enjoy our tour. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. Bye!
So guys, if you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel.
and feel free to comment.
Hit the bell, hit the bell, hit the bell, hit the bell. Come on, guys, hit the bell.
For notifications.
And don't forget to share.
And like.